that he drowned, but it was on top of the roof.
Continue on
He had
route.
drowned before he got to the roof.
Roy estimates the number of neighbors he lost in the storm around 14. As we walk, he points out their houses, or where their houses were. There was a guy across the street who died right after the storm. He was running a generator and his house burned up. The son of Danielle's pastor died, Roy says, when his house was dragged a few blocks away. The roofs here were filled with people during the storm. One of his neighbors even swam to Roy's house to look for him. It took months before he was even allowed back onto this block. He had to show ID at the bridge, and then the National Guard gave him 30 minutes. You already know, the house was totaled. Everything they had was gone.
My wife cried. She cried the whole time we was in the house. I thought it was going to flood all over again in the house. I said, baby,
You didn't cry?
well, seeing her cry, I might have dropped a tear too, but I, women,
He'll cry, though. He cried for an hour the night the Saints won the Super Bowl. Next for Roy, the familiar beats of Katrina keep going. A 13-hour car ride to Baton Rouge, a year in Atlanta, then back to New Orleans, and a FEMA trailer. No stores, no lights, nobody, no one around. They got a little FEMA money, a little insurance money, and a whole bunch of free help from this nonprofit who set up shop right next to Roy's broken down home, lower9.org. 2 years after the storm, the family moved back in. So picture, right at this point in the story, it was like Roy was back where he was when he first bought his houses. It was a reset, start at the bottom and climb back up. And this is the moment when Roy makes this totally fateful decision. He decides to take out a loan, to borrow some money, fix up the other little house, which was a shell after Katrina. It was dry rotting, so he could start renting it again.
I put it on Facebook. That's what I did.
What did you say?
I put it on Facebook. I'm trying to get a loan. Anyone knows someone that they can suggest me to go to get a loan? And all these people, oh yeah. So that's when I went on to loan partners and took out the loan.
Loan partners. Loan partners. The kind of company that made a lot of loans after Katrina to help with construction and rebuilding. And they lent Roy money for exactly that, to rebuild his rental property. $60,000. But this was nothing like a typical loan. It had a very short deadline. 1 year. Was actually 11 months. And it works like this. For a year, you just pay interest every month. At the end, you pay off the whole thing. The original $60,000 all at once. He has to see a copy. The rate seems high, 12.5%, and there are all sorts of hikes and fees that kick in if you're delinquent.
I didn't read all that.
These are really hard terms.
And I signed it.
Without really reading it.
I didn't. So
Why, you kind of trusted your friends, and they were like, this is a good company.
right, that and just to get my house fixed. That was my main goal, is to get myself back on track to where I was before the storm hit.
The only reason Roy was able to get this loan in the first place was because after Katrina, the government was handing out checks to homeowners to rebuild their houses. Loan partners knew Roy would qualify for a bunch of this money as soon